there's a lot of noise out there. I mean, we have been conditioned, and there's been a lot of garbage food that we've been trained to purchase, and the consumer goods industry has really done us a disservice as a American population, and I think we're turning it around, but it's going to take active participation on all of our parts and, like you said, personal responsibility for us to turn this around. It's on each of us.
Hype or legit? Game-changing or garbage?
This is What's Hot and What's Not, where we put today's biggest self-help trends under the microscope.
All right, let's break this one down.
It's time for Hot or Not.
Hot or not? Womp, womp, womp.
All right, Chris. Is it hot or is it not? Salt.
Oh, it's hot, man. That shit's great.
No, you can't have too much salt in your diet.
Yeah, it might make you awesome. And then if you have too much, your body just passes it through normal processes. Oh.
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
It's like 2,300 milligrams of salt a day to kill you. It's like a heaping tablespoon of salt. That's if your body never went through a process ever to get rid of it, i.e. you didn't sweat, pee, cry, use the bathroom in any way, form, or fashion, or anything didn't secrete out of your body in any way.
How much like ocean water would you have to drink for that to kill you?
I think ocean water is a little bit different. There's a lot of like bacteria and shit in there. Ocean water is a bathtub full of ocean shit. Literally. Like, it's super fucking gross. Yeah.
But really, I mean, we've been conditioned to believe that salt is the enemy.
It's not.
No, sugar is. Salt is not the enemy.
No, you're just not. It's going to be really hard. It'll be very hard to consume too much salt.
Why does our body actually needs salt, correct?
Yeah, it'll hold on to a certain amount, even if in a low salt environment. It'll hold on to a certain amount because it needs it to function.
Well, and even electrolyte drinks are salt drinks.
Yeah.
Liquid IV.
Yeah. I mean, Gatorade was salt water.
Yeah.
Flavored salt water. That's why.
Before they changed it and made it sugar water.
Yeah, it was built by the Florida Gators because they football teams in the sun all the time. So they kept losing all their salt in their body through sweat, and they were passing out and having problems and cramps and all this other shit. So their illustrious leader or whoever it was created Gatorade, as in Florida Gatorade, and it was fucking flavored salt water. And their athletes blew up. They were great. They could handle any of the temperature changes, any of that other stuff. And they performed better because they had more salt. If you cramp up, do you know what the best thing to drink is? Pickle juice.
Ooh.
Because pickle juice is
salty.
Like aggressively salty. I think that would land in the words of violently salty. It's very, very salty.
Yeah.
But what does it do? It removes cramps. It's beneficial. You know, the only people that died in the heat wave, and I think it was the 80s in Chicago, were elderly people on a salt-reduced diet.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So here's a quick little fact about salt. In 1970, we put iodine in salt because that was a great way to combat what could be nuclear fallout from the Cold War. Iodine is fantastic for the system to process radioactive material. So we added iodine and it's good for your body in small amounts, to salt. It also helps, as a preservative, also helps salt stay longer instead of clumping up and becoming one big giant thing, one big giant unit. Mm-hmm. The problem is high iodine causes hypothyroidism. So high iodine is the problem. It's not high salt. So you could put salt in fucking everything. You could salt things so heavily that it preserves it. Like you could take a chicken drumstick, and put it in 2 pounds of salt, and it'd be great for like months. And then take it out and fry it, and probably taste fantastic. Like Wagyu beef is in salt. It creates like a crust around it and preserves the meat. That's what we did for hundreds and hundreds of years, was salt preserved our food.
So steer clear of the iodized salt.
Yes. And if you actually read the label of a non-iodized salt box or bottle, it says does not have the recommended doses of iodine. It's not considered healthy by the government. Yeah.
Interesting. The more you know.
I don't think the government's out to kill you, but they sure as fuck make a lot of money on you if you're sick. So, like, that's interesting.
Food for thought.
Wow. I think it's hot, and the government is not.
Yeah, agreed.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Kiley.
Welcome to the 1%, where small shifts create big wins.
We're redefining resilience for high performers, 1% at a time, so you can keep advancing, no matter what. Welcome back.
Welcome back to another episode of the 1%.
Well, Chris, what are we talking about today?
Today we're going to talk about a couple different exciting things, all inside of...
Nutrition?
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
I think this is a good topic because there's a lot of bullshit diets out there.
Well, I think the best way to describe the nutrition world is just bullshit.
Yeah.
I was on Instagram the other day and saw this guy with his shirt off in like a Meijer or a Kroger or something.
Weird.
Holding up a thing of coffee creamer saying, I can't believe you start your day with this. This is the worst thing ever. Seed oils, processed blah, blah, blah. This is going to kill you. Kill your gains and kill your body. It's like, first off,
relax.
Slow the fuck down a tad. Like, creamer's fucking great. Is it the best thing for you? No, but 3 ounces of creamer in the morning, let's just chill. You know, we got some other larger things we need to understand before we start getting granular on what we flavor our coffee with in the morning.
3 ounces is a heavy creamer pour.
It is. It's just not that big of a deal. Like, nobody's going to die over that. Now, if we compound that with other bad decisions over a very long period of time.
Right.
Yeah. So what I think would be really beneficial is to understand how the body operates when we talk about burning calories. So how do we measure that?
Well, first off, I think we need to know what a calorie is.
Yeah, it's the numerical measurement of energy.
Yeah, it literally means energy, right?
Well, if you go overseas and you buy a Snickers bar, it doesn't say calories on the back. It says energy, because calories are energy. Calories are the numerical add up of micronutrient energy sources. It sounds complicated, but here's the simple and quick breakdown. There are 4 calories, kcals, or units of energy per gram of protein and carbohydrates. They both have 4 calories per gram. Fats have 9 calories per gram. So when we add up what's in a food, we're adding up the total caloric energy sources of fats, proteins, and carbs to equal said total calorie count. So it's very simple, right? If we have 100 grams of fat, we have 900 calories. Simple. And you just do the math. So what ends up getting really confusing is, one, what energy source do I need? Because they're all energy sources. And what's the cost of the energy source? So to not get super granular with this, because it gets really confusing, because it took me 10 plus years to start to be able to utilize the knowledge quickly, because there's so much data on the back of a candy bar or a loaf of bread or all these other things. We need to understand how the body utilizes calories first, and then we can start making better decisions, because we need to understand we're in control of the expenditure as well as the intake. So if our expenditure is low, it's going to be really hard to eat the correct amount of calories.
And when you say expenditure, that's like calories you're burning during exercise, your normal day-to-day movement.
Well, that's a great question, because that's how the question's always formulated. What do we think of when we think of calorie expenditure? Exercise.
Yeah.
Right?
But your body burns calories just existing.
Not only just existing, it burns calories at rest.
Yeah.
So
We burn calories while we sleep.
Yeah, it's the only time you repair. Mm-hmm. So when people talk about, I don't want to go to the gym because I don't want to be overtrained. I don't want to work out too hard because I won't repair. Generally speaking, you're not overtrained. You're underfed and underslept. So you're under-repaired. You're not overtrained. So yeah, that's how the question's always formulated. So we're talking about working out, right? No. So there's a cool equation I learned from a guy named Dr. Lane Norton. Fantastic program if you want to run through it. His profile on Instagram is BioLane. Mm-hmm. I think he's awesome. So one of his taglines is facts over feelings, which I adore.
Yeah, we're all about that.
Yes. So the way this is broken down, we have to find out when somebody, we'll just use a client as an example. If you come in and you want to lose 15 pounds, we need to find something up front called TDEE, Total Daily Energy Expenditure. How many calories per day, how much energy is Kiley Schmidt's using during the day? Fantastic. Mm-hmm. Well, how do we find that?
I have a ring that tells me.
That's good data, right?
Yeah.
So TDEE is kind of a not super complicated, but there's some math involved. It's broken down into 4 pieces. We're going to break each one of these down, and I'm going to explain why they work and what makes up the most amount of caloric burn. So we understand where we should spend our energy, where we should be intentional, and what is something that's just an add-on. So how are we going to get the most out of our actions? All right. So does that make sense?
Yeah. So what makes up TDEE?
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So total daily energy expenditure, or TDEE. First part being BMR, the basal metabolic rate. This is a measurement of how many calories you burn at rest, meaning laying in bed all day long, not moving. This is how much your body will burn in order to keep current level of muscle mass alive and healthy. Now, muscle mass isn't just biceps and tendons and ligaments. It's organs and everything else that's going on inside of your body, all the processes.
You don't even really think about that stuff.
No, but everything burns calories. Everything has a cost. Every time you blink your eyes, every time you move your hands, every time you do anything, there's a cost.
Well, and we talked about this, I don't know, a week or so ago. The stuff that we used to do because we didn't have all of the technology and modern convenience, like reading the newspaper and moving your arms to turn a page, we're not doing anymore. So just basic day-to-day stuff, because of how our society has advanced, has become less and less active over the years. Everything we do is less active.
That's a great segue into the second part. So we have basal metabolic rate, or BMR.
Okay. Second
thing we measure is called NEAT, N-E-A-T. That stands for non-exercise activity thermogenesis. It's a fancy way of saying every time I move anything on my body, I burn calories. So one of the things I do as a coach is when somebody sits in front of me and talks to me about losing weight, I'm monitoring how much they move their body. Do they talk with their hands? Do their eyes twitch back and forth? Do they constantly move in their chair? Do they adjust their voice up and down? Are they flamboyant with their activity, or are they very quiet and reserved? Because a quiet person that sits there, doesn't move a lot, has a very low NEAT score, and somebody that moves around a ton has a very high NEAT score. So their body's moving far more during the day in just little tiny activities.
So it's probably good that I talk with my hands.
You burn more calories.
That's great.
The third is called the thermal effect of feeding. So we have lost sight of the fact that when we consume something, it costs calories to consume said item. So
is that like, I don't know. Somebody once said that like you burn more calories eating celery than you do like what you gain by eating it. Is that true?
It's water. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because you got to think about how many calories are in a stick of celery.
Yeah.
And how much energy does it take to move your jaw?
Yeah.
To utilize the muscles in your throat, and then to get the processes in your stomach working, and then send that down through your intestinal system, suck up all the nutrients, and then pass it.
Yeah.
Like, it's far more costly to the system. That's why you can eat gobs of celery. You might feel full because you have things in your stomach, but you're not full. That's part of the reason processed carbs are so bad, is because you feel full with zero nutrients.
Yeah, that's super interesting.
And it's a very easy to consume. Like a Pringle, when you put it in your mouth, dissolves pretty much. So you feel fuller. The thermal effect of feeding is lower, costs less for you to consume, and it is full of nothing.
Yeah.
All right, so we have BMR, NEAT, TEF, and then finally, we have exercise activity. That's just going to the gym. That's going on walks. That's intentional activity to make your body better. So if we calculate these out and we think, what's the thing that burns the most calories and the most beneficial to my body and I should pay the most attention to? What would you think right off the bat?
Probably just like operating your system.
Okay. So just existing BMR?
I think so.
How would you have any effect over that? Something that you have control over.
Probably getting more sleep. I don't know.
So most people say, exercise activity would probably be the one I can adjust the most.
Well, yeah, I think that one is the one that you have the most like impact on consciously, right? Like those are your habits that you can change, and it's a lever you can pull. You can't really, I mean, I don't know that you can, other than getting more sleep, I don't know how you change your BMR.
So here's the interesting equation.
Well, can you change your BMR if you have more muscle?
Well, we'll talk about that.
Okay.
So if we break down and group these together, BMR, NEAT, and TEF burn about 90% of the calories per day.
Okay.
That's where you're getting most of your TDEE, total daily energy expenditure.
TEF is what again?
Thermal effective feeding.
Which is?
The cost of consuming food.
Okay. So eating and just existing.
Eating and existing. That's your majority of energy spent, leaving 10% or less in exercise activity.
Wow.
10% or less. So I'm not saying that you don't have to work out. What I'm saying is we need to understand how these two correlate.
Yeah.
The more you exercise, the more you move, because the healthier you feel, meaning your NEAT score goes up. So if you exercise, feel better, look better, and want to be outside, you're moving more, you're less sedentary, you tend to eat better, you sleep harder, and you have more muscle mass. So your exercise activity, even though it's 10% of your total daily energy expenditure, a very small amount, affects the 90 directly.
And if you have more muscle, doesn't it increase your BMR?
Yes.
So that's really where, even though working out is only a small percentage of the calorie expenditure, having more muscle is like the biggest lever that you can really pull.
It's the lever that's not being pulled in America currently.
Yeah.
We do not have an insulin problem in America. We have a movement problem.
Yeah,
in
we
America.
have a lack of muscle problem.
Yes, we have a muscle mass problem. We have a inability to utilize glucose and insulin correctly or at all because our activity level is very low, our NEAT score is very low, therefore our basal metabolic rate is very low, and it adjusts the entire score. So we don't have a firm grasp on how we're utilizing our body and what we're doing with it because there's no intention behind it. We're just existing in what makes me feel good. The problem with that is since our body's a defense mechanism, it's not going to carry muscle arbitrarily. That's why I think it's a huge lie we tell ourselves that, oh, I'm just getting older, so it's okay to lose muscle mass. The only reason we lose muscle mass when we get older is because we stop fucking using it. We stop going to the gym. We stop working out. We stop walking. We stop chasing our dreams or our goals, or we stop going on hikes. We stop doing shit and we become more sedentary. We drop our NEAT score, which drops our basal metabolic rate, which in turn destroys our exercise activity level.
Yeah.
And it's just this slow degradation down into, well, I'm 80, so it's okay to just have a hunchback and shuffle when I walk and be at risk of losing everything because I fell off a curb.
I mean, and you're old and you have more muscle now than you ever have.
I'm as old as I've ever been. Yes.
Just kidding. You're not old. But you're definitely older than me.
But at 40, right? I'm a couple months off of 40 and I have friends that are struggling with massive health problems.
Yeah.
Like debilitating stuff that scares me to look at them because they've got young children.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you got to get a hold of this, man. This score set you have is so skewed that you try to add in exercise and everything is so off. The system's not ready for it because our food is incorrect. Our NEAT score is super low. Our current level of muscle mass is like non-existent. And then we have structural issues. So you just compounded all these little tiny problems because we've ignored, one, how we're spending energy, and two, our ability to step into that equation and adjust it.
Okay, so I have a question. Maybe you know the answer, maybe you don't. But how does alcohol impact the NEAT score? What does it do to the system?
Well, let's think about it. What does alcohol do? Like to you just socially. Let's say you go out one night and get fucking shit-faced. Have a great time, run around, burn a bunch of calories. What do you do the next day?
Oh, you're dead.
Okay.
To the world.
Yeah.
Sedentary.
Okay.
Eat like shit.
Okay.
Sleep like crap because it stays in your system for 48 hours.
Okay. There's your answer. What do you think it does to your NEAT score? It destroys it.
Yeah.
It's completely debilitating. Your body views alcohol as a poison. If I decided to drink bleach and it made me throw up, everybody would go, well, why the fuck are you drinking bleach, man? That's crazy.
Yeah.
But if I drink a bunch of Pabst Blue Ribbons and I throw up, they slap you on the back and say, rally, boy, and get back up there and do it again.
Yeah, puke and rally. Let's go.
Like, that's crazy. And what's the cost? The cost is the inability for your body to then create muscle mass out of protein synthesis, because your body's in panic mode, taking care of the poison that's in it. It stops most of the processes of doing anything other than getting rid of the poison.
Mm-hmm.
It's part of the reason your sleep sucks. And then you make bad decisions because you're tired. And then you eat shitty food because it makes you feel better.
Mm-hmm. Temporarily.
Yeah. And then you just exacerbate this cycle with, well, I can't go work out because I feel like shit. Then I just lay around all day and I eat like shit for 24 hours. Then it's like, well, fuck, I've already ruined one day. What's half another day?
Yeah.
Or if you were like me, it's, hey, hair of the dog, just drink a half a Pabst this morning and I'm fine. And it just continues the problem. And then you end up 6 months down the road, getting a little chubby, getting a little fluffy, Your workouts are non-existent. They went from 4 days a week to 1, maybe. And you've just changed your whole mindset, your whole framework of how you're supposed to operate. All over what?
So what do we do with this information with the TDEE? Like, how do you use this?
The whole concept is the realization of personal responsibility, meaning you are in control of how your body does things innately. Meaning if I put more muscle on it intentionally, it operates better. I can handle shittier food or not so great food because I have the muscle mass to handle the insulin dump. I have the muscle mass to handle the exchange or the cost of the crappy food. As opposed to, I don't move, I don't take care of myself, I have no intentional action, and then shitty food, it's already in panic mode. So this is a ton of data, all to say, if you want to change this, deciding to go to the gym, just so you understand that decision will change all the other variables that control 90% of your caloric burn per day.
So just building strength.
There is absolutely no other part of this equation that is going to be hurt in any way if you get more muscle mass, if you gain more muscle, if you work out harder. If you task yourself, you're better for it. That's scientific fucking proof that if you go to the gym and you work out hard 3 to 4 days a week, you will be better. You can handle things better. Your body will be more resilient. You'll have more muscle mass. You can handle bad decisions physically better because your body can bounce back faster because of the pressure that's constantly put on it. You can be presented with situations that cause stress and get over it quicker because your body's used to the stress of the weight. You just create a better human.
And this TDEE, you can actually use this to calculate how many calories somebody should be taking in if they want to lose weight or if they want to put on muscle mass, let's say. Like not everybody's goal is to lose weight. Somebody's goal might be to put on mass and gain muscle, gain weight.
Yeah.
But this is like the basis for how you put together nutrition programs. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. It's
okay.
the baseline.
Okay.
So we can't get 100% correct. So we use like standard deviations.
Okay.
So usually what I'll do is round down. So if somebody's total TDEE score after we calculate it is like 2750, I'll go say 2500. And then what we'll do if we want to gain weight is we will eat over 2,500 calories. If we want to lose weight, we'll eat under 2,500 calories for whatever microcycle we deem worthy.
Okay.
The basic premise behind metabolism is how do we currently feed our activity level, not current level of muscle mass. So our body will only keep on or want food based on the stimulus of activity. So that's why when you start working out, you're hungry all the time. Well, yeah, it's because you're hungry. Because your body needs food.
Can you be overweight and underfed?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
How does that work?
You always have to remember that the body doesn't do things arbitrarily. So generally speaking, if we're overweight, we're malnourished.
Okay.
So if we're malnourished, then our body holds things that it can't do anything with as a defense mechanism against the foraging for food. So it assumes you're starving and not in an environment that allows it to feed itself, or you have an overabundance of an item and it just stores it because it can't really do anything with it and it's not getting the things that it needs.
Would that be the byproduct of eating too much processed food?
Well, yeah, processed food's plastic because it's not part of the nutrient-dense chain. It's just fucking fake food with a filler that makes your body think it's good.
Yeah.
It is literally scientifically created like an Oreo to hit parts of your brain to make you love it based on your taste buds.
What does our body do with an Oreo? Like, it goes into our system and then what happens to it? Like, do we poop it all out?
So that's an interesting question. So what is inside? Let's just call it straight sugar.
Okay.
So, because there's really nothing in it. It's not like a protein
Right.
source or a good anything. It's
I
no
haven't
fucking...
I haven't had an Oreo since high school because my high school chemistry teacher told me that it's literally the worst food you could eat because it is 100% plastic and fake.
Yeah, so it's a Pop-Tart.
Yeah. So I have not eaten an Oreo since high school.
Yeah, it's fake food. It's like genetically engineered.
Yeah.
So your body receives the sugar, which is called glucose. Your body has this phenomenal mechanism built in for instant reactions. Since it's a defense mechanism, whatever you consume, your body automatically replies with an answer. So when you eat sugar, your body instantly creates insulin. So insulin is one of the three things your body needs to create contractions, which is energy, or which is like movement of the body.
Okay.
So your body receives glucose. This is a very simplified version. Receives glucose, creates insulin, mixes with oxygen, enters the muscle. Insulin is the key to open up the muscle cell. The glucose and the insulin, or glucose and the oxygen go into the muscle group, creates contractions. So insulin's the key to open the muscle group.
Okay.
The problem is we have so little muscle mass in America that we have all of these keys and all of this energy floating around in our system with nowhere to go. And then we keep dumping sugar on top of it, which creates more insulin, which exacerbates the energy in the pancreas. And the pancreas finally just goes, fuck it, I can't do it.
It's like a bunch of keys with no doors.
A bunch of keys with no doors. Mm-hmm. And then you have this insulin problem.
So you have an overabundance of insulin.
And then what happens? Your pancreas gives up and you have none. So then you would go, oh, well, I have this problem called diabetes.
Yeah.
Well, I have an insulin resistance problem. You don't have an insulin resistance problem. You have a pancreas that's worn out and you have no muscle mass. And the reason I know this works is because what happens to top-end bodybuilders? They have so much muscle mass, their pancreas can't keep up. So what's the number one additive to PEDs for high-end bodybuilders?
What is a PED, performance enhancing drug?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Is insulin.
Oh.
They will take insulin shots to improve their body's ability.
Why don't they just eat Oreos?
Because that's a high cost for body fat composition.
Oh, okay.
So you can't cheat that system. Just take the enzyme that it needs. Because if an Oreo doesn't have insulin, an Oreo has sugar.
Okay.
We're asking the body to produce insulin to utilize the sugar.
Okay, so they just want the insulin without the calories?
No, they have so much food and so much carbohydrates, which turn into glucose, that their body can't keep up. They can't create more muscle mass because it's not natural.
Okay.
They have so much. So in order to create gobs of muscle, you increase insulin levels because you have so much muscle mass. So if we have really, really low muscle mass and really high insulin, well, of course you get fat. Of course your body starts falling apart. That's very simple. It's just a simple mathematical equation. If you want to be a rhinoceros and have, 280 pounds of solid lean muscle on you, you have to increase insulin through the roof. If you don't work out at all, would you need that much insulin? Of course not.
Yeah.
You're not utilizing it. There's a bodybuilder is a guy with a bunch of doors and a bunch of keys. The average American, if you landed in the 42+% that's morbidly obese, has a bunch of keys and no doors.
Yeah.
So we just had a increase in movement and activity in America, we'd get rid of the diabetes problem. Like within a year. Most people wouldn't have the issue.
Wow.
The issue is it comes down to personal responsibility. Do I want to be in control of myself, or do I want to say that this is just happening to me? Because if I say it's just happening to me, then I'll just take another drug and die slowly.
One's easier than the other.
Well, yeah, because if it's happening to you, then that's just life, man.
It's out of my hands.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Life's hard. It's killing me slowly. Yeah. It's your choice. That's why I think this diet programming is so fun, because I can give you all the equations. We can find out exactly where we needed to go, how many calories we need to burn, how fast we want to burn it. I can give you your total deficit for 8 weeks at a time. Anything more than 8 weeks, you get what's called a negative metabolic adaptation. So your metabolism drops because your food source is so low that it'll try to rein in your energy level and expenditure level. So we raise it back up for a week or two after 8 weeks. So week 9 and 10's back, maybe even above TDEE. And then we go back to another 8 weeks below.
So there's a process, like...
That's why we got to stay high level on this. Because one, we only have about 45 minutes and it's going to be super boring if we get heavy. But we need to understand that basically if we remove all of the data and the spreadsheets and the nonsense and the granular shit, this all has to do with move your body more, quit being fucking lazy, and don't eat food that sucks.
Yeah.
Like, it's very simple.
Well, and I think the thing we have to reframe is you're not depriving yourself of great food. You are actually feeding yourself with nutritious food that your body appreciates. The Oreos are a punishment to your body. You have to start associating the plastic food with punishment because that is not what your body wants or needs. It is actually detrimental to the system. And the fruits, the vegetables, the healthy proteins from the earth, the animals that roam the earth that we eat, like those are the foods that your body wants and needs in order to thrive. And that is a privilege, and that is essential for a healthy system. Well,
the coolest part about the argument about nutritional needs is nobody gets fat off of protein.
Right.
It's a physical impossibility.
Right.
And also, if we talk about you can't just be on a high protein diet because your brain needs glucose. Your body does this really cool thing with the liver called gluconeogenesis, where it takes the overproduction or overconsumption of protein and turns it into glucose. Your body is very smart. Like, you don't need to cheat the system. You don't need to fix anything. You need to feed it food that grows or lives on the earth and get the fuck out of the way. Move your body, eat good food, you're fine.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. It's just not easy to do in this day and age.
Well, I think we make it harder because we make it more complicated.
Well, and there's a lot of noise out there. I mean, we have been conditioned, and there's been a lot of garbage food that we've been trained to purchase, and the consumer goods industry has really done us a disservice as a American population, and I think we're turning it around, but it's going to take active participation on all of our parts and, like you said, personal responsibility for us to turn this around. It's on each of us.
Well, that's why it's my favorite. Is the whole fitness industry and really the personal development industry. I don't think it has anything to do with just fitness. I think that's just a part of. But one of the most fascinating things after opening this business is realizing that anybody can change anything. Once the person's unlocked, I guess they say, and they realize that they're in their own way, that they are the person that's going to control their fate, and that if they want something, nobody's coming to save you. Nobody. You are your own white knight. Man, people do cool shit.
Yeah.
Once you realize you are your own white knight, it's off to the races, man. Because then you're not waiting on anybody. Now it's time to pull the trigger. Let's fucking go. If you're waiting for somebody to show up, what are you going to do when they show up anyways? Change everything? Fuck it. Do it now. They're here. Look in the mirror. That's the guy or gal.
Change still requires your participation.
Yeah. So whether or not your white knight's here, you're still responsible.
You still have to do it.
Yeah. Because nobody can work out for you. Nobody can read a personal development book and apply it for you. Nobody can do those things. So when we talk about nutrition as a whole, yes, there's a bunch of silly shit on Instagram, and always say if it quacks like a duck, moves like a duck, it's a fucking duck. So if it sounds goofy, it's fucking goofy. Just understand you got to move. You understand the equation now. You have that in your back pocket, and keep in mind that 90% of our daily activity is where we're burning our calories, not the exercise, but the exercise is paramount to increase daily activity. It's a little easier to understand what we're doing.
Let's go.
Big results come from small, intentional actions.
And that's why we're taking on the 1% challenge, a simple, actionable step to get just a little bit better every day.
No excuses, just progress. Let's do it. Alrighty, 1% challenge. Here we go. Are you part of the 1%?
I don't know. What's the challenge this week?
Since we talked about nutrition, track your food for 1 week. I have every single client do this, even coaching clients, mindset, business development, whatever we're doing, sales training.
Yeah.
Track your food for a week. I need to see how you're fueling that body.
It is really enlightening, I will say, because when you had me do this, I thought I was eating pretty healthy. And as I was tracking it, I would not eat specific foods that like normally I would have just snacked on without thinking.
Mm-hmm.
But because you were making me track it, I was like, ooh, I'm not going to eat that today because I would have to track it if I did.
Yeah.
And it prevented me from eating crap.
Well, you're just far more cognizant of what you're putting in your system.
Yeah.
The coolest part about tracking your food, too, is you get a bird's eye view of what a 7 days of caloric intake looks like. What kind of energy are you bringing in?
Mm-hmm.
And then you can go, oh, yeah, Tuesday I felt awesome, but I had a great Monday nutrition-wise.
Yeah.
Wednesday I felt like shit because I had a horrible Tuesday. Friday I felt awesome. Saturday I felt like shit. It's just giving you a journal of what to expect. Today's activity is based on yesterday's nutrition. So, yes, you have to fuel yourself. Yes, pre-workouts. Yes, your meals during the day fuel you, but you're running off of stores of yesterday. So, and expectations physically from your body of what is going to happen food-wise. So, the more regulated you are, and the less variables you have, the easier it is for your body to say, okay, this is what I'm going to get. This is what I expect.
Yeah.
Because if what you're doing currently is writing down all the variables in the scientific equation you're running. So if you have different lunches every week, full of different items every week, and you do that over breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks, you have like 6,000 variables and you're trying to figure out what the answer to this equation is.
Right.
Good fucking luck, bro.
Right.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
You don't have any idea what's going on.
Right.
But if you regulate it, it might be quote unquote boring, but then you can find out what the fuck is going on and what your body actually is responding to.
Yep.
So when people say, well, I can't handle glucose. Well, Sharon, you've had like so many fucking foods. Like, you eat half a bag of Doritos, you eat a bunch of Takis, you drink beer, you drink wine. Like, is it glucose or not glucose?
Gluten.
Is it gluten that's the problem? I'm gluten intolerant. No, you eat like a 4-year-old.
Yeah.
That's the problem. And you're 60.
A drunk 4-year-old.
Yeah. Like, this equation is so screwed up. You cannot make any claims.
Yeah.
There's no way.
You can't identify the root of the problem if you're not cognizant of what your variables are. So tracking is the best way to figure out what your variables are.
It's the only way.
Yeah.
That's why people get frustrated when they come in and they're like, I just want a diet. So what do we give them? A very regulated, organized, structured program that eats the same fucking thing all the time. They're like, oh, this is boring. This is a science experiment that you're wanting me to control the variables on. So in order for me to give you a correct answer, I have to control all of them.
Uh-huh.
And that's it. That's the only way the system works. And it's the only way I can give you data on what the fuck is going on. You're asking me to be the scientist and removing yourself from the equation, then I'm going to give you a really boring diet. And I'm going to add in things like 1% at a time.
Yep.
Or you can be the scientist. Yeah, super easy.
There you go.
Want to carry the 1% mindset with you every day? Check out our online shop at www.odysseyresilience.org for gear and tools designed to help you stay focused, resilient, and always moving forward. Until next time, stay in the game and keep getting 1% better.